Hi, VencoreWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Thursday, February 15th. Quite a wild ride here for the I-95 corridor over the next several days. We'll go from springtime today to winter this weekend and then back to spring early and middle part of next week. Temperatures this afternoon should reach the 60s in much of the I-95 corridor region from D.C. to Philadelphia to New York City. Then much colder air moves back in late tomorrow and especially tomorrow night. Low temperatures tomorrow night way down in the 20s. Then a storm system will ride up from the southern states to a position off the mid-Atlantic coastline by late Saturday night, early Sunday, and it certainly can throw some accumulating snow into at least parts of the I-95 corridor. Everywhere really from D.C. to Philadelphia to New York City has a chance at some accumulating snow Saturday night, and there certainly can be a mix as well in some areas with sleet or rain. Then it turns much milder again early and middle part of next week. In fact, by Tuesday and Wednesday, high temperatures will reach at least the 60s, perhaps even into the 70s in parts of the I-95 corridor. So a bumpy ride over the next several days. Let's start off by looking at 0Z NAM model. This is a higher resolution model from 0Z last night, and we'll first walk through the upper level pattern here at 500 millibars. We're moving ahead for the beginning of this time period in hourly increments, and then we'll jump to 3-hour increments as we progress. First of all, starting the day here on Thursday, basically a west to east flow in the upper part of the atmosphere. A warm front passed through in the overnight hours, and it'll turn out to be a cloudy but very mild day with nothing more than a shower or two. So it's actually a mild kind of a day that you can go out and enjoy because it'll be basically rain-free. Notice some upper level energy starting to gather itself here in the interior part of the western U.S. by late today. And here we are by early tonight. This is Thursday evening. This is the area to watch as it just progresses basically to the east. And first is a cold frontal system that will slide into the area, causing rain around here later tonight and in the early morning hours of Friday. And then that frontal system will kind of settle slowly to the south and east and act as a conduit for this low pressure area over the southern states to ride up to the mid-Atlantic coastline. Here we are now, Friday morning. Cold frontal system starting to press into the I-95 corridor region. And again, nothing too drastic here showing up in terms of upper level energy. This is all associated with that cold frontal system. By Friday evening here, that front should be at the surface past the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City corridor, south and east of there. Winds should pick up Friday afternoon as the colder air pours in. And then here is that energy that will set off the development of the low pressure area in the eastern U.S. This is now by late Saturday afternoon. Precipitation just about arriving in the D.C. area at this time. Again, not a major upper level feature here. It's a fast moving system and not all that intense, at least in terms of the upper level energy. Here we go by late Saturday night into the early hours of Sunday, and there's that wave of energy that again will play a significant role in the development of low pressure that will ride up to the east of the immediate I-95 corridor late Saturday night into early Sunday. Once that passes by, we start getting milder again, a little bump up in temperatures Sunday, but especially noticeable by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Easily the 60s and perhaps even the 70s can be reached in parts of the I-95 corridor. Well, let's now walk through the NAM, 0Z NAM model at the surface here. Again, we'll move ahead in hourly increments, and then it'll jump to 3-hourly increments. These maps, by the way, from tropicaltidbits.com. Again, starting off the day here with some fog and some clouds here, but nothing more than a shower or two, and it's a kind of a day where you can go out and enjoy the warm temperatures because, again, it'll be mainly rain-free with afternoon temperatures up in the 60s. Here's rain starting to show up here on these maps here by late today, early tonight, associated with that approaching cold frontal system. especially north of the Mason-Dixon line, there will be some decent rainfall in the overnight hours. There was some rainfall last night with the warm front. There will be some rainfall tonight and tomorrow morning with the cold frontal system. And here we go now by late tonight. Notice here out in the Midwest, a lot of northerly winds here around a strong high pressure system over the Rockies. That's a cold air mass, and that will slide in as after the following the cold frontal passage later in the day tomorrow, and especially tomorrow night. And here we go, the cold front here now lining up over the Ohio Valley early tomorrow morning, and showers will continue in the I-95 corridor region. Then the frontal system jumps to I-95 just to the south and east by later in the afternoon tomorrow. Winds will pick up. It'll be kind of a noticeable frontal passage because winds will pick up and temperatures will drop in the afternoon. They'll probably reach their peak in the morning, and then tomorrow night, no doubt, we'll drop into the 20s up and down the I-95 corridor region. This is now the forecast map for early Friday night. Cold, high pressure situated over the Midwest here. Now let's jump into the weekend here. Now we're moving ahead in 3-hour increments. Here we are now, Saturday morning. An important feature right here, that strong high pressure system sitting right on top of the Mid-Atlantic region. Some moisture starting to show up near the Gulf of Mexico. That high shifts off the coast, and we talked about this the past couple of days. The reason we're in a mild pattern right now is we can't seem to have sustained cold air because there's no blocking around at the northern latitudes. In this situation, this high pressure area moves off the east coast late in the day on Saturday. That'll allow some milder air to start pushing northward just about the time the precipitation arrives. Now here we are late Saturday afternoon. Snow showing up here in the southwestern part of Virginia, and then by Saturday evening, snow reaches the D.C. metro region on the doorstep of Philadelphia, and then a few hours later it certainly can mix with or change to rain in the D.C. metro region, especially from the district to points south and east. Could be a mixed bag Saturday night to the north and west of the district. Snow probably sticks around Saturday night in southeastern Pennsylvania. Certainly south and east of Philly it can mix with or change over to rain. But in the northern and western suburbs of Philly and in New York City, it may very well stay as snow Saturday night. And then again, it's a fast mover here. Snow wrapping up already by about midnight in the D.C. metro region Saturday night, Sunday morning, but still snowing in Philadelphia, New York City, and points north and west. Rain down by the coast here. Then by Sunday morning, that pulls out of here. All of this could lead to some accumulations, especially north of the Mason-Dixon line. Perhaps a few inches in Philly and New York City, maybe on the order of a coating to a couple of inches in the D.C. metro region. More of a chance of a mix or a changeover in the D.C. area compared to Philly and New York City. Still, some details to be ironed out here. In fact, let's take a look at the NAM forecast of snowfall for this upcoming weekend event. And here it is from the 0Z 12-kilometer version of the NAM. This is the snowfall predicted for the upcoming event. Again, generally a coating to a couple of inches in the D.C. metro region, maybe a few inches up across Philadelphia and New York City, especially to the north and west of those metro regions. This, of course, is a preliminary estimate. I tend to agree with what I'm seeing right here from the NAM model in terms of the snowfall accumulations, but there's still a couple of days away to the actual event, at least 48 hours, so stay tuned to VencoreWeather.com for any potential updates. That's it for now. For VencoreWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Orion.